It's my pleasure to welcome Orlando City SC as Major League Soccer's 21st expansion team. Yeah!
It's the end of an era. The final USL Pro season.
Takes a shot, and it's a goal! Orlando City!
There's a target on our back, but we've only got one mission: win. 2 goals, a ball, and a culture defined by success.
Make sure we get after the guys, yeah?
Don't think we're just going to overlook this season. After all, we have a title to defend.
From the ESPN Wide World of Sports at Walt Disney World Resort, this is USL Pro Soccer 2014, where tonight the unbeaten and first place Orlando City Lions match up against the Charleston Battery. Good evening and welcome, everyone. I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Thank you so very much for joining us for yet another YouTube telecast of Orlando City and USL Pro Soccer. To my left, my partner is always Tom Traxler, and 2 teams not just going in opposite directions, but 2 teams on the opposite end of the form spectrum.
Oh, that is the truth, Jeff. You know, Orlando City is coming off possibly one of their best performances of the season in the last round of the U.S. Open Cup. They won 4-1 in a game they could have picked their score. And on the opposite side, the Charleston Battery are coming off possibly one of their worst performances ever in the U.S. Open Cup, losing deep into penalties to the Orlando City under-23s.
That sets up 2 games against MLS competition in the next round of the U.S. Open Cup, but back to league action tonight. If you look at these 2 teams, they've met each other a number of times, very familiar rivals, and Orlando has really gotten the best of them, especially here at home.
Well, they are rivals, but Charleston's been a great customer of Orlando City, as you can see. They've never won a game here in Orlando, and this gives them the opportunity to win one time, at least, before Orlando City makes the jump to MLS. See if they can get a victory here in Orlando tonight.
Lions 10-1-2 overall against Charleston. Andre Lewis, you see him there, the midfielder, just 19 years old, the Jamaican U20 international. He'll be somebody to deal with for Orlando City's defense.
Well, he's quite a creative midfielder, Jeff. And for someone so young, he's got an incredible soccer IQ. He was drafted by the Vancouver Whitecaps, and now he's been loaned out to the Charleston Battery, and boy, are they happy to have him.
Speaking of Vancouver, the man who played there last year, Corey Hertzog, still looking for his first goal as a Lion. It could come tonight.
You know, I get tired just watching him run around a pitch, Jeff. If you were to take 2 paintbrushes and tape them to the bottom of his boots, he would paint the entire field white. He doesn't take a shift off. He doesn't take a ball off. If that's 20-80, he thinks he can win it. This guy is aggressive, and I really think he's going to get a goal tonight for Orlando City.
Had a couple of goals in the U.S. Open Cup match a few weeks back. Didn't get on the score sheet on Wednesday, but his efforts in that win over Tampa Bay, the 4-1 victory, did not go unnoticed by head coach Adrian Heath.
Well, first and foremost, I thought it was an outstanding display from minute 1 to minute 90. Some of our possession football and our counter-attacking football was from the highest echelons of football. Absolutely magnificent. And, I feel for Corey Hertzog. I want to mention him because the amount of work that he's put in tonight sparks the rest of the group off. And I've just said to him, I'm a big believer in you get out of football what you put in. He's due a little bit of luck to come round the corner because the work he's put in tonight has been incredible.
Well, the Lions have yet to taste defeat here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Here's the gauntlet coming up for Orlando, starting with Montreal next week, Tom.
Well, of course, that's an MLS reserve side, so they should be pretty good. They're coming in town. You got the Orange County Blues, and then the team that's chasing Orlando City in the table, the LA Galaxy 2 on June 28th. And the game after that on July 12th looks to be a humdinger as well, Jeff, because the Wilmington Hammerheads are playing very well right now.
Well, with that, we'll take a timeout, come back for kickoff, and introduce you to the starting lineups. It's Orlando City and the Charleston Battery coming up next from Disney. the finishing touches on our national anthem as the fan bases of Orlando City and Charleston. Of course, the fan base of Charleston, I'm sure, watching us on YouTube right now. Glad you're with us if you're watching at Molly Darcy's or at the Three Lions Pub there at Blackbaud, as their Battery getting set to take on Orlando City. Let's meet the starting 11s for each side now, as we're just moments away from kickoff. First for the visiting Charleston Battery. In the back for head coach Mike Anhauser, 44 years old, now in his 10th season. Additional Cooper, the Cuban keeper. Across the back, John Wilson, now 36 years old, and has been with the Battery since 1999 on and off. Sean Ferguson, Colin Falvey are the center backs. Taylor Mueller there at right. A 4-2-3-1 look. Andre Lewis, who we already talked about, there in the middle, and up top, Mamadou Diouf, another Vancouver loanee. Now for Orlando City.
Orlando City's also going to go with a 4-2-3-1, Jeff, and no surprise, Coach Adrian Heath rolls out an unchanged team from the team that took the field this past Wednesday. Miguel Gallardo is going to be in goal. Look across the back, you've got stalwart Luke Bowden over on the left side. Tommy Redding is going to start in the middle next to Brad Rusin, and, of course, Tyler Turner over on the right. The typical pairing in the middle of Jordani Alvarez and Darwin Sarin, and then your three attacking midfielders. Number 8, Adama Mbenge. 18, Kevin Molino, who has been lighting it up of late with his goals, and Austin DeLuz over on the right side. And then up top, Corey Sonic the Herzog, as the fans like to call him, the guy who we talked about in the open, works his socks off.
And Adama Mbenge and company getting set. Orlando will be in the purple, going from left to right tonight. And each team with their final instructions. If you are Charleston, how do you approach this one, Tom?
Well, you better be ready to put in a performance, because I'm quite sure Mike Anhauser was not well pleased after taking a 2-goal lead against the Orlando City under-23s and basically taking your foot off the gas pedal. I heard they came out absolutely flat in the second half. That allowed the Orlando City under-23s back into the match, and of course ended up losing the game in penalties. If you're Orlando City, it is pick up where you left off. If you're Coach Adrian Heath, you're saying, look, we had a great performance. Don't let yourselves down now. Now we keep going from here. That's our standard, and we get better.
See Diouf there, one of the loanees, played at UConn, so a native of Senegal, much like Mbenge. Of course, Mamadou, though, educated formally over here in the United States. Orlando moving from left to right, and the Charleston Battery wearing the red and black, going from right to left. We are underway here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports.
Well, I always like to see teams go forward off the kickoff. You know, put the other team under pressure. Don't put your own team under pressure. There's no need to go backwards.
Yeah, put on the ground immediately was Darwin Sarin, the central midfielder for Orlando City and international player for El Salvador. Of course, after tonight, he and Kevin Molino will be getting on a plane to go to their respective national teams for some World Cup warm-ups. Trinidad and Tobago and El Salvador not playing in the World Cup, but Spain and Argentina are.
We were talking to Kevin Molino before the game, and of course he's going off to play Argentina, so he said, whose shirt you going to get, Kev? And of course he says, I'm going to jump all over Messi to get that top off him.
It's possible. Score a couple of goals, he'll earn it for sure, and if his form continues the way it's been here in USL, that shouldn't be a problem. He is leading the league in points and goals at the moment. Had 3 in the last league match against Charlotte that you saw right here on YouTube.
In talking with Coach Adrian Heath, he just says, you know, right now Kevin Molino is like seeing the game as if it's in slow motion. He goes, at training, he's just on another level right now. And that's showing in his performances here in the league and in the U.S. Open Cup. I haven't seen him score goals like this ever. So I think this is possibly one of his finest professional seasons being crafted right now.
Molino had just received the pass, now sent it out wide. Tyler Turner in front, ball across, and Cooper was challenged a bit. Now Mbenge.
That's definitely close. And that's Corey Herzog down in the box right now.
Trying to waste some time. A shot on frame by Molino. Herzog still down inside the 6. Cooper will check on him. And that's something we don't want to see, is the Lions short on forwards at the moment with Dennis Chen.
Yeah, this is concerning.
Well.
This is very concerning if you're Orlando right now, because Dennis Chin's not healthy, and you only have 2 strikers on the roster, of which Dennis is one and Corey's the other.
More importantly, he
may just have a really good knock. If you're Orlando City, let's hope it's just a knock. We'll get I think he's saying, as you see the trainer, he's saying, hold on. I think he's just trying to work it out. Sometimes you get a good knock, and you need a couple seconds, you need a couple minutes just to kind of check it out, get it right, rub it off. Let's have a look at this. You see Tyler Turner's going to come down. He's going to get that cross played in. Here comes Corey Herzog. No surprise. They get their legs tangled up.
Looks like his right boot got stuck in the turf a bit too.
And he caught a good knock, but he's a tough customer, Corey Herzog. And he's up, and I think he'll walk this one off and get the feeling okay, and he'll get back to making runs and be right as rain in just a few minutes.
And now his name being chanted by the supporter sections to our right. The Iron Lion Firm and the Ruckus, loud as usual here in the early going, creating a wonderful atmosphere at ESPN Wide World of Sports.
I heard a ruckus.
They were loud over at Seminole Soccer Complex on Wednesday.
Oh, the whole group's together, the Iron Lion Firm, the Ruckus, the 407.
Let the Tampa Bay Rowdies fans that were able to travel hear it. Now 0-5 against Orlando City, and that one was a game that counted. Wasn't an exhibition this time.
It was certainly quite a performance. If you were there the other night, you really got treated to some fine soccer from Orlando City.
It's John Wilson along that touch line. Charleston has had a history of playing close games with Orlando, just haven't been able to pull out the victories. They've got the one in Charleston that first season, as Wilson has it taken away by Tyler Turner, who gets to start again tonight at right back.
Well-timed tackle by Tyler Turner.
Pushing out left to Luke Bowden, saved on the slide by Quentin Griffith.
Interesting that Charleston is going to employ a 4-2-3-1, and normally they'll come in a 4-4-2. But you can see they're clearly going to try and mirror the shape of Orlando City and try to come to grips with Orlando City's midfield.
Try to work in the counter now. Sent out to the left side, Zach Prince, wearing number 24, is Austin DeLuz, getting his first league start in a couple of weeks after that injury. Come back to Cooper, who has been the goalie in 10 games in USL Pro so far this season. Has one of the best goals against averages in the league, .70. That's even better than Miguel Gallardo's .800.
Yeah, very tight defensively. Charleston, they've had good performances. Their record is a little misleading.
Ball taken away by Adama Mbenge. Now to Molino, entering the 18-yard box. Tries to get the left foot across, and he's encouraged down to the turf.
I think he wanted to get that off his boot just a little bit quicker. I said he sees the game in slow motion, but he doesn't play the game in slow motion.
Amadou Sanyang able to collect the ball. They send it forward, and Russin will touch it back to Gallardo, who will roll it out front to Seren. Just underway in the 6th minute here between Charleston and Orlando. Perhaps the last ever visit to Orlando by the Battery.
It could be, barring anything that might happen in the playoffs or maybe in years to come down the road in the U.S. Open Cup. As we said, this might be Charleston's last chance to get a victory in Orlando for quite some time.
Sure enough, the USL Pro playoffs a long way off. Well, approaching the midway point of the season now. Wilson will track back to the corner along with Tyler Turner, and it'll be Orlando City throw. Had some rains today in the Central Florida area. They seem to have held off for now. Making nice conditions on the field. That one sent in, and Cooper had to go low to make sure.
Well, it's a quick surface, Jeff. It's cut, it's manicured, and it's been given just a little sprinkling just before the game. So it's a lovely surface right now, and quick. So Disnell Cooper right there had to be on his toes with that ball coming skipping across.
That one got away from Deleuze a little bit. It will be a throw for John Wilson. And the Charleston Battery wearing all red tonight. When I think Charleston, I think the vertical yellow and black.
I was
just the way they are.
I was just going to say that, Jeff. I was just going to say, they probably could wear that top here in Orlando. I mean, Orlando City is wearing purple, so
they were red earlier this season too in the previous meeting. These two teams have met twice so far.
I'm a fan of their tradition with the black and yellow stripes. I'm a fan of that.
Founded back in 1993, won the USISL in 96, the A-League in 03, and USL 2 in 2010. So 3 championships in their history. One more than Orlando. Of course, Orlando going for a 3rd in 4 seasons this year. Before moving on to Major League Soccer, that one goes into touch. And it'll be a throw for Charleston. Farmer complaining about something.
Well, I know it's not the pitch.
Wilson to throw. Foul on the play, so Orlando will regain possession here in the early going.
Kind of a stop-start affair so far, Jeff. Orlando City's. Well, they've had a couple of attacks, a couple crosses come down. But you can see the adjustment to go and match Orlando's system so far has allowed Charleston to put some more pressure on in the midfield. But neither team has found a rhythm in this game yet.
Gallardo began the play, then sent out by Turner.
If you're Orlando, you want to get this ball moving. Quick one touches, especially through that midfield. Get it moving quick. Get players on the ball.
Turner with the header. Now come back to Gallardo, and the green kit tonight looks like a mojito back there. Not sure if that's mint or a lime color, but
whichever you
makes
prefer.
It look good. El Capitan, Miguel Gallardo.
It looks fresh.
It does.
And I don't mean that in like a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air way.
Organic.
Yeah.
With a little bit of neon. Here come Charleston. Nice win by Quentin Griffith there, the former Antigua Barracuda man, who for the last 2 seasons now has played for Coach Mike Anhauser. Part of that Antiguan national team setup. He's played some time at left back the last couple of games because of injuries. And now back in his customary right midfield spot.
I'm sure he's happy to be there, Jeff.
He's got quite a history against Orlando City, doesn't he? Remember in 2011?
Well, I remember
ejected after that fight.
I remember the first game ever at home for Orlando City and watching that game. And yes, I do remember him getting ejected. And I remember the amount of time wasting that happened in that game that started in like the 60th minute.
Yeah, one of the few teams to have won in Orlando in league play the last 3.5 seasons. Antigua was the first to do it, believe it or not. A team that is now defunct and no longer in the league. Ball played through a collision in the center of the park, and it will be Charleston ball.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Diouf gets up.
Brad Rusin and Mamadou Diouf getting tangled up. These are typically physical affairs, Jeff, between Orlando City and Charleston. There's usually not too much in goal scoring between the two teams. I think if you'd probably go back and research and look at the amount of goals they're scored, you'd probably find the goal differential's not all that heavy, being that Orlando have won 7 times at home and have
they've all been 1-goal variety type games. Now here come Charleston looking nice on the right side. Top of the 18, there's a shot parried away by Gallardo. Not out of the woods yet. They send it over to Griffith on the right side. Lead it back for Sanyang. And Bowden is there, and we'll play it back to his keeper, Miguel.
Zach Prince found himself in a lot of space at the top of the box. He kind of got to pick up his head a little bit and put a blast onto Miguel Gallardo.
Turnover. And the Battery to build out of the back. Spray it to the right side, and Taylor Mueller. And playing in direct fashion. Looking right, ball into the box. 2 players go down. No call by our referee tonight, Marcos de Oliveira.
No, pretty fair. Both players got up and got on with it. Nobody's appealing for a penalty, so for the right call.
Mamadou Diouf scored a goal against Orlando City in the season opener, a game that was a 1-1 draw. Deleuze able to score in that one to level it in the second half. That was the season opening game in Charleston. The two played once again about a month ago here, and that was in a 1-0 Orlando City winner.
Austin Deleuze opening up the scoring for Orlando City on the season there that night, and it's been in and out of the lineup. Of course, was in the lineup Wednesday in that great performance, so no shock that he's included in this starting 11 tonight.
Now that he's healthy, especially Molino and Alvarez play the 1-2. Now left side, Adama and Benge looking for a boat, and goes down just outside the corner of the 18-yard area. Wants a foul, does not get it. Now he'll have to track back defensively, and does so.
Hard to tell from where we are, Jeff, how naughty or not naughty that tackle was. Certainly Luke Bowden feels like there was something in it.
Wilson, the wily veteran, will make the switch to Falvey. Supporter section here in Orlando not happy with our referee, Marcos de Oliveira, at the moment.
No, I think they have a chant or two for him.
Marcos, the referee last week against Charlotte as well. Different crew with him. He's assisted by Patrick O'Brien, Rob Huffam, and Daniel Gutierrez tonight.
And if these games historically are anything to judge, he'll have a busy night.
Now on a nice effort, doesn't get by Miguel Gallardo, who goes low to make the save.
That one was hit hard along the turf, had a few worms ducking back in their holes. Miguel Gallardo able to haul it in and keep hold of it, make sure there's no rebounds.
So Griffith, Diouf, and Lewis have had their moments. Their pass intercepted by Charleston. They'll look to go the other way. That one gets away from Jared Van Schaik, the defensive mid.
This is a big pitch, Jeff. It's wide, it's long. It's probably one of the bigger playing surfaces in the league, but it is congested in that midfield. I think I can count anywhere from about 9 players at a given time in that midfield.
Is that because both are playing the 4-2-3-1 tonight?
Exactly. So, each team has 2 holding midfielders. They'll have wide midfielders that kind of pinch in a little bit, and the player in the hole dropping back in. So if you're going to play to that midfield, you're going to have to get the ball off your feet. It's going to have to move. You're going to have to look to play 1 and 2 touch. Get the ball, change point of attack quickly. Neither team yet really settling into a rhythm.
First time we called Tommy Redding's name as he broke that play up. One of the 2 18-year-olds on the back line, and 2 U.S. Youth Internationals, he and Tyler Turner.
Getting some great experience, Jeff. I mean, both playing a lot of minutes for Orlando City so far. And, Tyler Turner since the start of the season, and Tommy Redding of late. So, that's really important for them, that they can come into games and kick a ball in anger and get themselves some experience. And they've handled it very well.
Serwin finds Mbenge. Right in the center of the circle, surveys things in front. Will try to play the through ball to Herzog, and it was defended nicely by Mueller.
Yes. Herzog made a great run, bending out wide, but the defenders stayed nice and tight and in, cutting off those passing lanes.
With a right back to go with Falvey and Ferguson in the center. Wilson out up left for the Battery. Now Molino. Again, Ferguson got the touch. And it will roll.
Get for corner. No, was that offside?
Tough to see.
I think it's I think we have an offside call. An offside call.
And Cooper will kick it away here for the Battery. th minute, no score. Charleston so far standing toe-to-toe with Orlando here. And now Diouf gets bumped off by Redding. And Corey can't save it. And you see Adrian Heath get off the bench.
I think he wants a little more out of his team at this point, of course, and I think he wants them to pick up the pace. He wants them to get on the ball.
See, winning the ball was Diouf there.
Hello.
And this may bring a booking as you see Adrian.
Argy-bargy happening.
Adrian Heath, 53 years old, native of Stoke.
I'm not sure what happened there, but I think someone just got carded. Adrian Heath, you saw him up having quite a go at his charges, because I think he definitely wants to see, let's just say, more pep in their step.
Certainly a reaction from the crowd here in our 19th.
Well, there was a shove in there after the play, so more than likely, I think the play, I want to say it was Corey Herzog, probably picked up a yellow card for a little two-handed shove, a little extracurricular, if you will. I didn't see it, so I'm not quite sure, but I think that's what it would have been. Nope, no card, as we're being told. There was no card, but the fans were not happy.
Probably just reacting to Inchy. Of course, those of you from Charleston that don't know, Adrian Heath, former star at Everton and Stoke City in the 80s. Coached also in England, and now ready to bring his squad up to Major League Soccer next season.
He is a hard taskmaster, Jeff. I've seen Orlando City win games, and he's still not pleased. It's always about the way in which you go about it. The performance has to be good, not just the result.
The result is secondary sometimes. Orlando, not much to speak of so far.
A couple shots for Charleston, a couple crosses for Orlando City, and that's about in it so far.
Alvarez gets it through and cleaned up by Ferguson.
But this is not a surprise.
Scores, stats, news, and more. No surprise there, exclusively on USLProSoccer.com.
Good segue, Jeff. Well done.
Well, thank you. Here's Herzog inside the 18, slides, able to keep possession. To lose, can't reach there. Now Prince starts things off on the other end. Russin. See the wheels turning with every pass an Orlando City player makes. Alvarez through to Deleuze. Runs on, a shot over the top and didn't miss by much. Austin Deleuze with nothing to lose.
Watch this, comes inside and puts the salve on it.
Sends it into the supporters, and Cooper will send it away.
That one had a little mustard. That'll wake up the supporters. That's what you want to see.
Keep your head on a swivel if you're sitting back there. Now Orlando City on the attack again, left side, and Benge Sends it across and cleaned up by the Battery.
Good job, Odisno Cooper, on that, because Adam Mbenge able to get around Taylor Mueller and get into the box. Corey Herzog lurking. Not quite the angle to shoot from. Of course, he's lethal with that left, but was looking to get it played across, and Odisno Cooper had to make a wise choice to come out and get himself in the way. Did a good job there.
Fans, visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. Look, when you're Orlando City, you're playing one of the best defensive teams in the league, and this team has been that way for years under Coach Anhauser. Ferguson and Falvey, we know what he's capable of. And Mueller on the right as well, no slouch. And then Wilson, nobody's got more experience than him on the left. Matter of fact, the Battery, Tom, have only conceded overall this year 8 goals. So not bad in 11 games.
No, it's not, but it's their lack of ability to score goals, Jeff, that's been their problem. It's not defensively. They're organized well. They defend together well. They work hard defensively. But at the other end of the park, they're not able to score the goals that are going to make the differences. So, if you can't score goals, the best you're ever going to do is draw.
Van Schaik will take this free kick earned by Farmer a moment ago.
They say you win games with your defense. You win championships with your defense. But, I think when you look at league titles, they're usually won by teams that score a lot of goals. Your goal differential is usually very large for the team that wins a title.
Now Deleuze along the right. It's Orlando this year, 20 goals for, 9 against. Battery 11 for, 8 against.
And that's what I'm talking about. You have a differential of a +3, versus a
+12.
Versus a differential of a +12. Well, there's your differences. You've got to be able to score goals. I think the Charleston Battery have lost a couple games, both to the Wilmington Hammerheads 1-0 and 1-0. One game at home, one game on the road. Then they beat Pittsburgh 1-0. You have to be able to score goals.
Wilmington's been very, very impressive. Now currently in 5th place. Only on 14 points, but they've only played 7 league games, whereas Orlando, along with LA Galaxy and Richmond, have played 11. So they've got 4 games in hand to do some catching up. David Irving's crew has been very, very impressive.
I caught some highlights of their performance against Pittsburgh, and looked like they were running rampant, scoring goals on Pittsburgh, and their attacking movements looked very fluid. There's Wilson.
Mr. Wilson. I was going Dennis the Menace. You were going Castaway.
I'm going Castaway. Wilson.
Now, if that was a soccer ball in the movie, it'd be more apropos instead of a volleyball.
Well, some people confuse a soccer ball and a volleyball. It happens.
Switch made by Orlando. All the way to Luke Bowden on the left side wearing the yellow boots.
Those old 18-panel English balls that resemble a volleyball.
Sanyang getting stuck in the corner.
Ooh.
Nice ball. 1-2, and Mbenge goes down in the box.
Wow.
And earns a corner.
Wow. Well, hello. Did you see the move start off by Luke Bowden? Watch this. Little back heel to Mbenge, who's going to look at a 1-2. Gets in the box. That's a handout and a shove. Now
tripped up by Mueller.
Well, it was a handout, and that was a hand in the back. So, I'm not sure if it was enough to shove him over, but it certainly was an extended hand in his back. That is for certain.
Darwin Surin will take this corner kick here in our 27th minute. Approaches. Lets it go in, swinging into the side netting, and we saw some fans put their hands up in celebration because they see the net rattle. Make sure you follow @USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates. Right now, no score here at ESPN Wide World of Sports between the Battery and the Lions.
Orlando City showing a little signs of life here, Jeff. things starting to percolate. It took Adrian Heath getting up off the bench, having a go, getting vocal with a few players, and suddenly he's pulled out the spark plugs, and it's starting to turn over. Starting to click here, Jeff.
Percolate for our older viewers, Keurig for our younger viewers.
There you go. If
Mr. Coffee for our middle-aged folks.
Yeah, mine is. I don't visit baristas much, and I'm not I'm not a big coffee drinker. But percolate is my nomenclature.
Charleston getting stuck in, continuing to do so now. Griffith along the right side, get on his high horse, and defended into touch. Orlando City will counter. Here's the switch made to Tyler Turner. Cuts it back to his other foot.
Good cut.
Into center. And Benge leaves it off left for Bowden. Runs into the 18. He's feeling a bit cheeky now, and Benge sends it off the defense. It's a corner kick, Orlando.
Should be a corner. Tyler Turner not happy. Not happy. Feels like there was a foul. Looking over at the assistant, going, hey.
What about me?
Did you not see that?
Corner kick number 2 for the Lions upcoming.
I just feel Orlando City's starting to get into the ascendancy here, Jeff.
This kick whipped short, in swinger, right back out to the outlet. Molino back in and could not find Deleuze on the right side, nor Herzog. Now Diouf with a nice win against Turner and throws an elbow as Turner goes down. Ball to Charleston.
Diouf's a strong customer. Tyler Turner finding that out there.
Diouf drafted in the second round, the MLS draft, being loaned out to Charleston. One of 6 loanees to start the season from Vancouver. Just 3 remain as the number have been called back into duty for the MLS side.
Certainly a
Diouf, Lewis, and Abdallah here in the 18 roster tonight.
It's a great partnership between the MLS and the USL Pro. Look at this.
Oh, right off
my.
the top. A little heavy touch kept that from going
look
in.
out.
Not out of the woods yet. A shot off target to the left.
Not far. Zach Prince coming across. That's when it gets in trouble. When you can come across the top of the box in those positions, you got a lot of the goal to look at. He pulls one back and not too far amiss. I thought they were going to get the shot at the top of the box, to be honest.
Touch got away a bit from Diouf. Now Bowden will hold up play. We've played a half hour, no score.
So, sort of resemblance of most of the games between Orlando City and Charleston.
Lions a 1-0 win earlier this season here at home. A 1-1 draw to open the season on the road.
Well, no call. Tackle from behind. Okay.
Seren with the steal. Cuts it off to the right foot. Again, trying to play the diagonal ball. Well defended by Charleston. Now chipped into the 6. So Disnell Cooper off his line to make the save. You can tell how well the battery are coached defensively. They know what's coming and are cutting off the passing lanes.
Yeah, they're sitting there. They've got their banks. Their communication is good. Their spacing is good. And they're very familiar with Orlando City. You know, Orlando City really don't change the way they play very much. Little alterations here and there during the course of a match, but you kind of know what you're going to get.
Herzog is offside. Not sure if he would have gotten there anyway.
So, again, they're just very, very...
Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information.
Yeah, they're just, these two teams are very, very familiar with one another. And Anheuser is no stranger to Adrian Heath and Orlando City.
Well, historically, the way to beat Orlando is to hang around as long as you can, keep the game close, and then steal a goal late.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is let Orlando jump out onto a lead on you. They typically do not surrender it. I don't think I have the stat in front of me. I'd like to see the stat when Orlando City scores first in a match, what their record is, because I will bet you it's really, really, really,
Close
really
to
heavy.
perfect.
It is. It's probably near 100%. Well, it's probably near unbeaten.
DeLuz with some real estate. He'll send it on frame.
Wow.
Sliding in, just missing. Was Molino.
Watch this. This ball gets played wide. Here comes Austin DeLuz. You can see him look up, and he's going to pick him out.
Oh.
And there's Molino. Just hops over his leg, but he was at a full stretch. That was committed.
Molino nearly extending his goal tally for the season to 9 there. Flick on header by Charleston. Russin steps up, sends it back the other way. Now here's Quentin Griffith off the chest, pokes it ahead, looking for Lewis. Lewis and Bowden doing battle in the corner, and it'll be a throw in Orlando deep in their own end.
Luke Bowden is, for me, turned into one great left back.
He has played every minute this season. Mr. Consistent.
Well,
and
he's tough to beat on his side. You have to really work hard to get by Luke Bowden. His positioning is great. He has a great work rate up his line. He gets up and down, and he's got as educated a left foot as I've seen.
Reading to Turner. Sarin. DeLuz nearly loses it. And now it will be switched. And Bengay to the aforementioned Luke Bowden, able to keep his feet. He and Taylor Mueller, like two gladiators in the corner. It's sent out for a throw for Orlando City.
Maximus.
Are you not entertained?
He kind of looks like him. He's got the beard going.
That's right. As the ball sent across, and it'll be a goal kick for Charleston. Fans, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. Or the Charleston Battery YouTube channel if you prefer.
I'm sure the fans up in Charleston probably prefer that one.
The Regiment in their historic viewing venue is Molly Darcy's.
Oh, it's coming on. Nope.
Offside, not sure.
Well,
and the flag was up.
to all those at Molly Darcy's, I say cheers. Raise a toast to yourselves.
As you see, Adrian urging on the offensive attack here as it's still scoreless game. Zach Prince. You see our referee, Marcos de Oliveira, a veteran of this league. Jared Van Schaik set up for a free kick here for the Charleston Battery. They come in 3-4-4, sitting on 13 points, currently right in the middle of the table in 7th.
That troubling stat of three losses in their last 4 games. I'm sure Coach Mike Anheuser feels just not quite getting the rub. Maybe he hoped that the victory against Pittsburgh would be a turning point for them, maybe the start of something for them. It's certainly a good place to get it started here in Orlando, but it's a tough place to come and play. No team comes in here really expecting to get 3 points, Jeff.
You get one, it is considered a win, certainly a victory. Hasn't been done this season. A few times last year, the Lions were surprised as their form struggled a bit during the latter part of the season when the legs began to get tired and Baloney's were going back and forth, and injuries began to mount. So Richmond and Pittsburgh came in here and got regular season wins over at the Citrus Bowl.
Doesn't happen a lot for Orlando City at home. And these players, their fitness is incredible. The number of games that Orlando City has had in the month of May, throwing in cup games, throwing in friendlies. They just recently had a friendly against AS Roma.
And Sao Paulo FC coming in a few weeks as well, newly announced. Brazilian Super Club. And the middle now. Come back to Alvarez. And with lots of space to work, Surin, and it caught him off guard. That won't happen very often to Darwin Surin.
I think a gremlin got it.
The turf monster.
I don't know what happened there. Just kind of got through him. Could be a gremlin.
That was like me on the Sunday Pub League trying to receive a ball.
Well, that doesn't happen a lot to Darwin Surin for sure. Something reached up in there and got in the way of that ball.
Jordani's pass taken away. Looking for Griffith on the right, and he goes down.
He is down on the pitch. Gonna have a stoppage of play. Check him out.
See, and Bowden came together. And we hope Quentin's okay.
See very little movement so far. Trainer's being called on. Gal Gallardo's come over to check this out. See if we can have a closer look at what happened here. So there's Luke Bowden coming across, putting his arm out.
Got sandwiched by he and Russin. Went down and then
maybe just a little bit of contact. A little bit of contact as they're both going for the buzz. Luke was going for the ball. He goes down. He get a little tangled up, and I think he felt a little bit of Luke Bowden's right boot come across the back of his head, and that's going to hurt.
Quentin Griffith, 22-year-old, scored a goal against Orlando City at the Citrus Bowl back in 2012, and had a beat on things there until the defense collapsed on him. So he'll shake it off now for Charleston.
Which he's got 26 caps.
Sorrentina Barbuda.
Yeah.
Trainer will check him out. And we'll resume play as the ball played back to Gallardo.
I think he'll rub his noggin and he'll be okay.
He's back on the pitch. Good to see. There have been some injuries in this rivalry. None worse last year when Brian Burke suffered a broken leg in a game at Charleston. Now going down to the top of the 18. Now Mbenge will earn a corner as it appeared to be touched last by the battery.
Taylor Mueller got in front of that. You've got to watch it when you give Adama Mbenge a chance on that left. As I say, it's the hammer of Thor if he gets it off on you. It'll get by you quick and in a hurry.
Corner kick, Orlando. Getting closer and closer to halftime. 41st minute. Could this be the breakthrough moment of the first half for the Lions?
They've struggled off corners of late, Orlando City.
Bounced over the top just to make sure. Cooper had to poke it up. Redo it.
Have another go, and I think, watch this come across. It's going to hit a couple Charleston players and ricochet back toward the goal, and it was going to come off the top of the crossbar, but Adisno Cooper's just going to make sure. I think Orlando City have been missing Rob Valentino in these situations.
Left top, sent right back in, flick on header, a goal! Orlando City, there you go. Corey Herzog, his first of the season.
Well, we said it. We said he was going to get a goal tonight. And there he is, and not a more deserving player to get a goal for sure. He has earned that one. Let's have another look here. Ball comes in. Molino plays it. He gets up. like a salmon and flicks it strong and hard into the net. Way to use your noggin, Corey Herzog.
It's taken him 12 games, but great Odin's Raven. Herzog able to finally put one back in, and that feels good, I'm sure. The native of Reading, PA. 1-0 Orlando City. Corey Herzog in our 42nd minute.
You know, for a player like that, when you create so many chances and he's come close so many times, this could be the beginning of an avalanche for him. You never know. This could open up his floodgates. He might feel, okay, finally, it's off my back. I've got my first goal in real competition. Of course, he scored during the preseason several times. But now he must feel like, okay, good. Now I can just get on with it. Less pressure. I feel good.
Adrian Heath certainly seemed to think the way you were thinking, that it's only a matter of time. Now Molino into the 18. And Falvey able to clean it up. Falvey, the Irishman, always seems to be in the right place at the right time and knows how to play those angles.
And this is the position that you don't want to be in. I mean, you never want to be losing in a game, but as we talked about before, being down to Orlando is something totally different, because now if you're Charleston, you have to come out and play a little bit. We talk about this in a lot of broadcasts. And when you have to come out and play against Orlando, they're going to start exploiting you. They will start finding gaps, and then it starts to get out of control. So, you know, if I were Charleston, I'd probably still play it close. I'd probably still play this like it's 0-0, because the game will still open up chances for you. I don't think you need to open up and come out and try and press to get a goal. The thing you want to do is play the game as you have been playing it right now, because they've had chances in the game.
Gotten word from our fourth official, Daniel Gutierrez, that there will be 2 minutes of stoppage time added once we complete the first 45. We're in that 45th minute right now.
That's interesting. 2 minutes. We've had 2 injuries. I would have thought you'd had a little bit more than that. We've had 2 injuries, which has taken up some considerable amount of time. When Corey Herzog was down, when Quentin Griffiths was down, it seemed like it. So, and we've had a goal. It seemed like you should probably have at least 3 to 4 minutes.
Bowden. He'll earn the throw in for Orlando, come all the way back. And here comes the switch by Orlando City.
So is that 2 minutes just customary? Do you just going into the game, you just go, there'll be 2 minutes in the first half? Will there really?
Molino now to Mbenge, shoots off to the right.
Well, there you get an example.
To catch Cooper napping.
Well, Disnell Cooper had to come across, stretch that big frame. Adama Mbenge looking for that bottom corner. Watch him turn, come across, get a good shot off, and that was skipping.
Cooper's 6th save. He had 29 coming in. He's being tested tonight. We're in stoppage time. Opening half, Orlando City 1, Charleston Battery 0. 42nd minute goal by Corey Herzog on a flick-on header, the difference at the moment.
This game started out very little rhythm for either team, and then I just remember Coach Adrian Heath stepping up and getting a verbal out to his players, almost pulling out the jumper cables, plugging up the battery and turning it again. Let's get this going, boys.
It's like the defibrillator.
He got the defibrillator out.
Get the paddles down.
The AED was down there. He pulled it.
Yeah. Clear. And stoppage time. About a minute to go here for the halftime stoppage. Deleuze. I think that's Surin.
Oh, boy.
Somehow to Molino. Now Austin Deleuze. Wide to Tyler Turner. Here's the cross into the 18. And sent away. Falvey there and playing the angles.
Another example of how Orlando City used those fullbacks quite effectively, getting to the line. If you notice, on those situations, you'll rarely see a high cross coming into the box. It's usually low, driven, and low. And you're always going to have someone trying to come and get across that keeper.
Ball's bouncing through the 18-yard area.
Whoop.
Oh, that one got away from Reading.
That one was a scud. That one needed some GPS. It lost its way.
That's why he plays defense, he'll tell you. And with throw by Wilson, we are at the half as Marcos De Oliveira signals it after a couple of minutes of stoppage time. Orlando City 1, Charlotte 0. As you see Adrian Heath to regroup in the halftime locker room. Is he happy with what he sees? Let's take a look at the stats so far, Tom.
Well, I don't think Adrian Heath's going to be all that pleased with the entire first half. Maybe the last few minutes, but probably not the whole of the body of work in the first half. But if we look, obviously Orlando City out shooting Charleston 8-3, and you can see Odisno Cooper has had a busy day with 6 saves already. Corners 2-0 for Orlando. Shows a dominance by Orlando in the first half, Jeff.
Set piece goal for Orlando City. Corey Herzog, the difference on the header. And Orlando City leads it 1-0. We'll be back for the second half in a few moments here on YouTube. Well, Corey Herzog of Orlando City was a player to watch in our pregame, and he pulled a Jean-Luc Picard and made it so. 1-0 Orlando City in the 42nd minute, had the header. Jeff Radcliffe alongside Tom Traxler. And what adjustments do each team make here as we get set for half number 2?
Well, really, Jeff, not many. I think as I said just before the end of the half, if you're Charleston, you don't want to open up against Orlando. It could be the last thing you want to do. It's close. There's one goal in it. You're going to get chances in the second half. You just have to be ready to take them. So if I was Charleston, stay tight defensively and play counter, because Orlando City is going to play on the front foot. If you're Orlando, continue to pick up the speed and the pace of play. They started to do that in the last 20 minutes. That's when the goal came. You could kind of see it coming. It was almost like a freight train rolling down the tracks. It was chance here, chance there, corner here, corner there. It was coming. There's the goal. Now it's 1-0. So if I was both teams, it's kind of like just keep it on serve. If you're Charleston, let's stay tight. Let's play counter. Let's look for our chance. The chance is going to come. But let's not concede another to Orlando City. That's the last thing we want to do. And if you're Orlando, well, you're certainly looking to get a little bit more comfortable. But you do have to be careful against that counterattack, because that threat will exist.
Expect Mike Anheuser's crew to give it their all here this next 45. They don't play again until the 14th of June against LA Galaxy 2. Then they'll alternate home and road games through the month of July. So Charleston, this will be the last time they're on the field for a while, so you know they're going to leave everything out there. So expect their guns to be ablazing if you're Orlando City's back line.
By contrast, Orlando City will have 3 games in 10 days coming up.
And the next one against Montreal will be without the services of the league's leading scorer, Kevin Molino, and Darwin Surin, who will be on international duty.
And actually 5 games in 15 days. It is relentless. The schedule's relentless for Orlando City.
Lions will take on the Orange County Blues. That will, if results hold and they're able to continue to win or draw, that will tie their 14-game unbeaten streak they had back in 2012. That game against the Orange County Blues on Wednesday, the 11th of June. Got to take care of business here first. Not out of the woods, just a 1-0 game, anybody's game at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one goal, it possibly could stand, but it's not a lot. Like I said, it's not enough to make teams change necessarily anything you do tactically at this point. If you're Charleston, you may feel, okay, we've limited them, we've kept them to 1-0. If you're and at that, we've had a couple chances that we forced Miguel Gallardo into saves. If you're Orlando, you want to feel like you can score a couple more goals, especially coming off the performance that they had last Wednesday night. So I just don't think either team's apt to change too much about their shape or what they're going to do in the second half at this point.
Of course, Charleston expected to be playing, hosting a game against the Portland Timbers here in about a week and a half, and that's not going to happen courtesy Orlando City U23s, who knocked them off in 14 rounds of penalty kicks on Wednesday. So Orlando got him again. Now to the right side, saved by the back line of the Charleston battery. I want to say that was Ferguson, the track back.
Quite possible, Jeff. I want to make sure that we haven't had any changes. I haven't heard of any changes to the lineup for either team coming back into the second half.
No changes at the half for either side is the official word. So now in our 48th minute, a lazy pass leads to a chance here for Charleston. And they can't do much with it as Gallardo will receive the ball and distribute out left to Luke Bowden.
Yeah, if you're going to play out of the back, Jeff, don't be complacent. The ball still has to move, and you have to focus playing out of the back. It's not easy playing out of the back. Well, everybody wants to do it, but it's not that easy a thing to do.
There's Griffith, nice little one-touch. A back heel there from Lewis, nicely done.
Brad Russin coming sliding in to play that away.
Be a throw for the battery, who have amassed more points on the road this season than they've had at home. In fact, just got their first home victory against Pittsburgh last week. So, which is a little rare when you're talking about the confines of Blackbaud Stadium, which has been a house of horrors for many a USL Pro teams.
It's certainly not that's not your recipe for success, is it? You want to win your home games, and then you want to split on the road.
Oh, I think he'll take the 7 points on the road. But the 6
definitely.
Points at home.
But you got to get more points. You got to get more points at home. I mean, defend your home.
Van Schaik with a little shake and bake now to the right side.
Well, there's so many things you could do at Jared Van Schaik, huh?
Oh, yeah, he's a broadcaster's dream.
Shake and bake. That just happened.
The best has been Pittsburgh's Seth Chewbacca, you and your Chewbacca reference. 50th minute, Orlando City now moving it from right to left on the attack. Surin outright. Oh, sent in by Turner. Looking for Herzog. Nearly had his second. Was trailing and missed it by about a foot.
Well, we'll get a chance to see this one again. Tyler Turner's going to drive across a lovely ball. A little bit high. And Corey Herzog, his head up in the air going, oh, if I'd have just been a little quicker to that far post.
Cooper, the former Cuban international, sent it away. And there, a yellow card being issued quickly, as down on the pitch is Turner.
Referee, no hesitation, straight to the pocket.
Yellow card issued to number 24 of Charleston, Zach Prince.
So Zach Prince, the guilty party, he goes into the book.
Tyler Turner feeling the effects of that one.
So Prince now in the 51st minute. First booking for either team tonight. Their giveaway in the middle of the park. Orlando City fights right back, take it. Lewis has certainly pressed the issue in the middle for Charleston. Now here come the Lions on the right side. Turner stepping in the lane once again. It's Falvey.
Getting that counterattack started quickly.
Got to wake up pretty in the early morning to fool him as that ball went across the 18-yard area. Now a yellow on Orlando.
Well, he's going to pull this one back. They're going to get a free kick just outside the edge of the area. I think that was a yellow to Darwin Sarin.
See, he checks in on Wilson. So Sarin, in fact, draws the yellow.
So we'll see as they come down. John Wilson getting a peek back, see if he wants to try to get that cross in. Yeah, Darwin Sarin launches in, just captures that leg. Good call by the official. Dangerous challenge indeed.
Back-to-back yellows, one per side. We're now in our 53rd minute. So free kick for our man Zach Prince, the native of Columbia, South Carolina. And star at the College of Charleston. So he's a hometown product. The pride of South Carolina. Has been with the Battery since 2010. He'll set up the free kick now and chip it ahead. And Gallardo does well with it and makes the save.
Gets up there, able to knock it down and then collect it. Knocked it down in traffic.
Boy, Molino runs right in to Quentin Griffith.
See if that's going to be offside, probably.
Trying to dislodge the ball.
Put this back into play quickly. Here we go, underway again. Wasting no time, Charleston.
Here's Lewis in the corner and knocks it off of Bowden, able to keep it in bounds.
Very interesting.
Griffith.
We might see those go out for a corner, but oh my.
Oh, dangerous ball in the 18 and saved, and nearly an own goal. Whoa, boy.
Well, Miguel Gallardo had that one. He knew his spacing on that because that one's going to kiss the post. Watch him come in just off the post.
Diouf was creating havoc there inside the 18.
Yeah.
That was a little too close.
Call Allstate. Havoc was loose in the box.
Mayhem, right?
Mayhem.
Orlando a little unsettled here the last couple of minutes. Surveys things. Now all the way back to collect Alvarez. Surin pokes it to the right. Boy, another interception. Another giveaway. The middle of the park has been, as you said, very, very clogged. Tough for either team to complete and link the passes up.
Yeah, I mean, they've mirrored the shape as you're gonna. Playing Orlando, the last thing you want to do is get outnumbered in the midfield.
Griffith released along the right side. Defense closes in. Here's a chip shot. Far post. And Van Schaik was in on it.
I'm not sure if he was able to get to that with his head. It was interesting from our angle that he let it drop onto his left.
Things opening up a bit wide now. Letting loose the throttle. Flick on by Herzog.
And offside.
Scores, stats, news, and more can be found exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. Best soccer website in the lower divisions. Like the Goals of the Week feature that you can watch now online. Kind of catch up on all the league happenings without watching the whole game. What you're able to do this year.
We were watching that on Tuesday night, as a matter of fact.
Charlotte, a little bit more of the possession here in the early going of the second half.
Well, you could expect Charleston to come out really strong, probably the opening 10 minutes. They want to reestablish, they want to get themselves back into this game. So if you're Orlando, you kind of just weather the first 10, find your rhythm.
Mueller will throw here.
City substitution brought to you by Metro PCS. Entering the game, number 27, Kobe Span.
And now we'll have our first substitution, not even at the 60th minute yet. And Kobe Span will come on for Coach Adrian Heath.
Looks like Dama Mbenge coming off.
To give him a well-earned rest for sure.
Yeah,
Span for Mbenge. We'll see positioning changes now because Austin Deleuze can play either side.
Yeah. Let's see if Kevin, I think maybe Kevin's going to move wide. And Brian Span, as like we called Kobe's, going to slot into the hole just underneath Corey Herzog, which is I think where he typically likes to play.
Span, the loanee from FC Dallas, did not play in that U.S. Open Cup win over Tampa Bay Rowdies on Wednesday because he doesn't want to be cup tied, or at least FC Dallas doesn't want him cup tied with Orlando City. So he and Mikey Lopez did not see any action in that game, the Sporting Kansas City loanee.
Obviously, they might have a mind that if they get deep into cups themselves, they may want to recall them.
Span now nearly got the back heel pass. Overran it just a touch. Now coming up here middle of June, we'll have that fourth round of the U.S. Open Cup in which all the MLS teams enter the fray. 7 USL Pro teams able to advance to round 4. Harrisburg, Rochester, Richmond, Pittsburgh, Arizona, Sacramento, and Orlando.
Only one club's got 2 representatives left in the competition, though, Jeff.
That's right. The PDL Orlando City U23s now.
Oh, my.
Charleston setting out wide to Griffith. He'll send it back across, top of the 6. Ping pong ball inside the area.
I was going to say, it's like a pinball machine in there.
Cue the Who. We have a pinball wizard inside. 59th minute, and Orlando able to rally the troops defensively. Now Span.
Good change. Good change to the point of attack by Orlando on that ball. To alleviate some pressure, give him a little bit of time.
To lose one touch back to the middle. Molino.
You can see Charleston happy to let them pass the ball as long as it's on their half of the pitch. Things get much tighter once you cross that line.
Challenge from behind on Deleuze, so free kick awarded to the Battery.
Free kicks from the center of the park. There you go. Typically just want to play them wide, change the angle. Hard to serve a ball into the box directly from the center of the pitch. Not much usually can happen unless you flick it on.
Van Schaik. And Ferguson send it deep. Speaking of flick on, there it is. Handled nicely by Russin. Turner played ahead into the space, and it was occupied by the Battery. Switch is made. Mueller. Doesn't amount to much, and Gallardo will look to distribute here in our 60th minute. Played an hour, 1-0 Orlando City.
Brad Russin there, nice, calm, composed. So I'll just stand my ground, let them grab my head. Miguel, I picked that up.
Herzog. And sent forward. Now we've talked about Herzog this time with Vancouver. Russin in there as well. Player goes down for Charleston or earn a free kick just outside the 18.
Draws
and
the
yellow as well. So
well,
Diouf taken down.
Tactical foul, he got in, and of course Brad Russin had to make the foul. Just unlucky, really. Kind of got their feet tangled up, but because he's going toward goal, not a goal score opportunity. He didn't bring him down in the open, so obviously not a red card, but certainly enough for a yellow card.
Second yellow on Orlando, third foul of the half. Russin goes into the book. Now Griffith will survey. I'm sure he has seen Miguel Gallardo before on film and in person.
Second half so far, you know, first 15 minutes dominated by Charleston.
Sent in, saved by Gallardo. Dove to his right and kept it out.
Well, Lois Lane, there's your Superman. Watch this ball. Ball coming across. Miguel Gallardo has to come diving across. Parries it away. Good save to keep this one 1-0 for Orlando.
Ball back into the corner. And it will be a goal kick Orlando City, so they won that battle. Gallardo, the native of Torreon, Mexico, now 29 years old. He was the goalkeeper of the year in USL in 2011. Looking to make the jump with the club to MLS, and he's certainly having a fine season this year.
We're talking, you know, certainly Charleston's been the team that's kind of come out of the dressing room so far, if you will, in the second half. All the shots have been taken by Charleston in this half.
Lewis and Diouf are forcing the issue here, playing a Sporting Kansas City style. Kind of riding the defenders, trying to force the turnover, and hopefully that leads to an easy goal. That's the idea.
You know, to me, Jeff, it looks as though Orlando might be a little bit leggy. They look a little bit fatigued, which, given the number of games that they've had to play in the month of May, is you know, it's not a surprise. And of course, Charleston, with their position in the league, you know, having a bad run of form and certainly having lost to Orlando City 23s, they need a result here. And I think, you know, desperation, if you will, maybe a sense of urgency creeping into it for Charleston.
Charleston's playing now. A redirect header goes over the top.
Once you start finding that rhythm, which Charleston's starting to get themselves into a rhythm, they're starting to get on the ball. Things are coming wide, crosses are coming in. And if you don't change that momentum, if you're Orlando and you let that kind of steamroll on you, it can result in a goal.
Battery with a lot of the one-touch give-and-go passing now. Lewis, Griffith, Diouf, Prince really making things happen now. Diouf and Lewis, both loanees from the Vancouver Whitecaps, the affiliate club of Charleston. Mentioned before, they've had 6 loanees at one point this season, now down to 3. Whereas Orlando's parent club, Sporting Kansas City, has only loaned 1 this year, where we had 4 a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Orlando, do you really want loanees? Wow, that was close.
One touch, and again, the flag is up.
Wow, that was close. Corey Hertzog, of course, I can't believe it, but, you know, he works so hard, he plays so high on the line. He is caught off sides quite a bit. But that's just the aggressive nature that he plays with. You know, we were talking about the loan situation, the loanee player situation. If you're Orlando, you really don't want loanees at this point. You're preparing yourself to go to MLS. So to have players that you're developing for someone else at this point is kind of counterproductive. Whereas, you know, if you're a Charleston Battery or you're a team who's, you know, your future is in the USL Pro, having these loanees is great because they're players that come in, they reduce your wage bill a little bit, and they allow you to go out and find and you know, pay for even better talent. So it increases the talent pool in USL Pro too. So it's a really good thing all in all. Just two teams kind of in a different situation with it, Jeff. One that doesn't really want them, and one that really does.
Nice back heel a moment ago by Charleston. They keep it in the attacking third. Wilson sends it across. Dangerous ball. Now Bowden will give chase.
Wilson may be the oldest player in the league, but man, he can still motor.
And then you add the brains that he brings with all those years of experience. He's always in the right place at the right time.
You got to admire a player that can play that long.
36 years old.
You have to admire that because it's not easy when you're 36 years old to run after 22 and 23-year-olds. You have to admire the fitness that he keeps himself at and the intensity and the competitive drive to keep putting this in season after season.
See Jared Van Schaik. He will approach this with his left foot. A dangerous spot for a free kick. Here it comes for Charleston. Gets through and cleaned up by Russin. Not out of the woods yet. Orlando looked to counter. Alvarez able to get it out left to Deleuze. He'll hold it up middle of the park right past the halfway line and just send it across. Won by Molino. And taken out of the air by Cooper.
Looking for Corey Hertzog. Puts in a good cross. You just sense Orlando City right now really on the back foot.
They're playing the counter right now, which is very unusual.
Well, I just think Charleston's grabbed the momentum of this second half right now. And Orlando City's struggling to get it back. And I just wonder if it's just a little bit of fatigue and how long it's going to be before Adrian Heath starts looking to his bench to interject some fresh legs.
I have another number of subs still available. Span has been the only one so far. And touch gets away just a bit.
You know, when's the last time you've seen? When's the last time you recall the Orlando City fullbacks getting forward, which is a staple to what they do?
Russin will carry. It seems like Charleston's figured out what Orlando is trying to do. Now it's about making the adjustment. Oh, through Griffith. Deleuze surveys in front.
This is better.
One touch.
Well, this is better. Start putting touches together. Start getting players on the ball. Get the ball moving.
You see Adrian head down below his knees for a second there.
He's looking for some water. He's probably been yelling quite a bit and his throat's dry.
Throw in for Charleston, 69th minute.
You know, and I talk about the number of games that they played. That won't matter to him. That's not an excuse.
Ball past the byline, And corner kick upcoming for the Battery. Fans, you can visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. Plenty to chatter about tonight as Zach Prince.
This league's definitely all over it from a social media standpoint, Jeff. Good to see. Easy for the fans to keep track of their teams and the players and the league.
Prince back post. Falvey was in the vicinity looking for a cheap header, back heel, and turned away by Orlando City.
Tommy Redding was nice and strong there on that cross that came into the box.
Now we'll have an interjection of speed on the side of Orlando City. Second sub is the second loanee, and Mikey Lopez of Sporting Kansas City will come on. He'll bring some pace along that right side, and he'll come in for Herzog, who gets a well-deserved hand for his efforts tonight.
Well, he certainly deserves it. And there he goes, pulling his shirt out again. Talked about that before. Tuck that shirt in before you go out. Okay, I'll tuck it in. As soon as it crosses the pitch, pull it out.
It's about comfort.
Why even make it a rule?
See what kind of shape now Orlando moves into.
Oh, well played, official.
Looks like Span now will move up top and forward. And Lopez outright. Lopez will certainly be able to match any speed Charleston has.
Not sure that's what you wanted there. Take the goal kick. Oh, that ball's coming in. It could have let it run onto Miguel Gallardo. Chose to take a touch, which kept it in play for Charleston. It became a very interesting ball.
70th minute, 1-0 Orlando City, but the final result still very much in doubt. If the last 25 minutes are any indication.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable right now if I was Orlando City.
That one drilled way off target. Make sure you follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates from USL Pro and around the league. Of course, you can also follow the particular team Twitter accounts. CHAS_Battery for Charleston and at Orlando City SC for Orlando. Both very active in the league. Lots of information that way.
I don't think Orlando City has taken a shot yet in the second half.
Big word that is true, which is highly unusual. The second half has been dictated by the visitors. And you see Adrian up off the bench in the technical area.
It's almost
Falvey.
It's almost like Orlando City, or it's like the finish line is kind of up at the top of the hill.
Just huffing and puffing to get there.
They're trying to get there. And Charleston, they're on the downhill slope. They look. Charleston, to me, just look like they're fresher at this point.
And rested a number of their starters in that U.S. Open Cup match on Wednesday, which they lost to the Orlando City U23s, where Orlando played most of their starters in that game. In fact, all of them. They were playing an NASL Division II side, which on paper is a bigger challenge.
On paper.
And of course, the whole rivalry aspect there with.
Personally, I think that USL Pro has better teams. My personal opinion.
I concur.
And Orlando City certainly went a long way to prove that.
4-1.
A very decisive victory.
Yeah, the second and third divisions don't put a lot of stock into the pyramid structure. USL Pro has the affiliation with MLS, which only strengthens the already formidable league here. And the teams, as we learned last year, are getting stronger and stronger as we get set for a Charleston substitution. Michael Chang will come on.
I think Coach Adrian Heath right now is at a loss. for the form in the second half. I just got a close look at him coming back, rubbing his head, shaking his head.
Lewis comes off. So Chang along with Cooper. Now Orlando City has something brewing.
Ooh.
Chipped into the 6-yard area, shot into goal. Is it waved off? It is.
That's offside.
Turner thought he had the goal and will retreat all the way back.
You see it come in. There's Tyler Turner centering the ball. Kind of pops up.
Off.
Yeah, it kind of pops up. It was offside. I don't think it's quite the ball that was intended. It did wind up in a good spot. If you want to ask him, did you mean it? Did you mean that ball? He'll probably go, of course I did. I'm not too sure.
Orlando City now forcing the issue. Mikey Lopez earns the throw in.
Well, signs of life here from Orlando City
Just
in this second half.
shade over 15 minutes to go. That one's speculative as it goes towards the far post. There'll be another throw on this side for Orlando City.
Well, it's deep, and Taylor Mueller could not necessarily know who's lurking behind him, so smartly flicks it on.
Span gets free. And Kobe backs in, goes down. Appeared to be fouled. Ball will become a goal kick.
No, you're not going to get that one.
Fans, it's time to vote on your man of the match. Use the OC Game Day app on your smartphone and vote for the Orlando City man of the match.
Well, I know where my vote would go. I would
number 11.
I definitely would be. I would definitely be logging my vote for number 11, Corey Hertzog. But that's just me.
Javier Cordovez now will come on for Zach Prince. So Cordovez along with Chang, the two Cubans. So you add them to Cooper, who's also a native of Cuba. And then on the other side, Jordani Alvarez. All four of those players, interesting stories. And that they defected from the Cuban national team. Now a shot for Orlando City. It's a goal. On the quick counter strike, the Lions take a 2-0 lead, and Kevin Molino now with his 9th goal of the season to lead the league.
Well, could you imagine how your fortunes change? Good ball in. Austin Lou smartly playing it across to Kevin Molino, who says, thank you very much, and makes a nice deposit into the empty goal. A nice way for that young man to head off down to Buenos Aires.
First shot of the second half turns into a goal for Orlando City. They have doubled their lead.
You know, for Charleston, that is just a real punch in the gut, because you've had a lot of play in this first half, and I think this is what their coach alludes to, is that they just get unlucky. But it's also what we talked about earlier. They have all these chances, but they're not scoring the goals, Jeff. You've got to get the goals. When you've got the pressure, when you've got the chances, you've got to tuck one of them away. And by allowing Orlando City off the hook in a way, because you had a lot of play, you allowed them to get that counterattack chance and tuck it away. Now, you know, it turned Orlando City, as we said, they were kind of heading uphill toward that finish line. Well, maybe went over that crest, and it's going to be a little easier going for the next, 23. Well, what do we say? 23 minutes, 13 minutes. Next 13 minutes of play. Certainly got to pick yourself up and dust yourself off if you're Charleston. I'm sure you shake your head and go, how did we give this one? How did we give this one away? We had a lot of play. We were creating chances. And of course, that man, Mamadou
Sanyang, picked up the yellow card. So 4th yellow between the two sides, 2 apiece. Not surprising between these two teams. They've certainly had their fair share of yellows and reds against one another over the years. Well, that man right there, Colin Falvey, in the playoffs last year got ejected.
Jeff, I was
Long Tan.
Remember old Long Tan? I was going to say that, Jeff, and there's the fireworks. Little late. Hey, guys, you want to cue those on the goal, okay? Of course, those are Disney fireworks. But, no, as I was going to say, for Charleston, they just made an attacking substitution to throw in Javier Cordovez. big 6'2", 195 pounds, so a target. And I think that change kind of from a formation standpoint caused some problems in the immediacy as Orlando were counterattacking. So the good news, if you're Charleston, if there's good news here, is that you already have your substitutes on to go forward to try and chase this game, which you're certainly doing.
That one not going to trouble Cooper, as a number of defensive hands went up asking for an offside there. And Span and Molino still pushing the issue. Mikey Lopez in there as well. We see him on the left right now for Orlando City. Now drops back into the hole. Now dangerous ball is overrun by the Orlando City defense. Now left side and parried away.
Both players went down as the ball went by the two central players. Both hit the turf.
Span is onside. Cut it to his right foot. Now off to the left. A shot saved by Cooper.
Nice step over to open himself up to his left side to hit that drive on goal. Disnell Cooper
earns a corner kick. Fans, Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. So Lions will take their time to set up this corner kick.
Disnell Cooper, definitely that was a close range drive. Hit sharp and strong. But Disnell Cooper, quick reaction to get down, keep that one out.
Subs fast and furious coming on now as we see Adam Mena checking in for Mike Anheuser's crew. And for Orlando City, you see Aiden Quinn and Anthony Pulis drop the cards. Molino comes off after scoring his 9th goal of the season. Now he can start packing for his flight to Argentina. Griffith coming off for the battery.
Pulis coming in. He'll sit down in that central midfield and just settle things down.
He and Quinn, those central midfielders.
Good substitutions by Coach Adrian Heath. I think now they just say, hey, boys, let's, we've got our 2 goals. Let's pack in. Let's settle down. Let's keep this at 2-0 and get out with our 3 points. But they'll want to keep possession. They will keep possession in your half, Orlando City. But as you see here, if you look, Anthony Pulis will just sit deep and give them nice cover in that midfield.
That'll be the throw from Luke Bowden.
Good looking, wearing those new Nike Magistas.
Speaking of Nike being a sponsor of the league.
He's not the only player. Tyler Turner is wearing them as well. Oh, almost pulled that off.
Foul committed in the act. It will be Charleston ball on the free kick. Mikey Lopez will retreat. '82nd minute, make that 83rd now. 2-0 Orlando City Lions.
Yeah, Charleston's probably going to feel a bit aggrieved. Not in the first half. Certainly we're outplayed in the first half, but I feel like Charleston's a better end of definitely, 25 plus minutes, close to 30 minutes of the second half. They're probably going to walk off shaking their head after this one. And probably going, we're never going to be able to win a regular season game in Orlando.
Well, that will be for certain.
That will be for sure once the whistle goes and should this scoreline remain.
A lot of season remains to move up that USL Pro table. A battle like they did here tonight, things will be on the up and up for the battery. But right now, certainly not their best spell in the last couple of seasons that we've seen as Span runs on. Cooper came out quickly to meet him. but offside the call.
Well, you can see how many players now Charleston's committing forward. And that's definitely going to open up some space for Brian Spann, for Mikey Lopez. And as you saw, Luke Bowden going the direct route. A little ball from deeper, trying to find Brian Spann in that space. Whoops.
Giveaway. Charleston left side, Wilson.
I think Charleston players were looking for a handball. Referee saying no.
What made you think that?
Not there.
85th minute.
You just hear Charleston fans in your head going, handball.
Trying to play it in a corner. A foul committed there. Orlando City will get the free kick deep in their own end.
Of course, if you're Charleston right now, you'll take anything that you can get to get yourself back in this one. I mean, at this point, if you're able to get a goal, you've still got time. It could make for an interesting finish. But Orlando City have certainly made the defensive substitutions to solidify themselves. Got fresh legs on. See, just whoop. Got to get on the right page. Somebody's going forward. Somebody's playing square. Still got to communicate.
Still have 5 minutes and change in this one. Comes all the way back to Falvey. He and Mueller connect. Now Russin makes sure nothing happens. Now Surin finding Aiden Quinn. He's got to run. Won't be able to get there.
He was chugging to get to that one. He was blowing steam.
Aiden Wheels Quinn played for Caleb Porter at the University of Akron. Where's Caleb Porter, the head coach of the Portland Timbers?
Right. Aiden Quinn is father Brian Quinn, former member of the U.S. national team, I believe.
On that Portland thought, the Orlando City U23s will be playing there in a couple of weeks in the 4th round of the U.S. Open Cup.
That'll be an interesting atmosphere to go into.
When the schedule was announced, it looked like Portland would be going to Blackbaud Stadium. But Charleston unable to take care of business on Wednesday, so the Timbers get a home game.
I'm sure they're happy to stay at home. It's always better when you play at home. Ask Orlando City.
They'll be at Colorado in a rematch of the game from last year, won by Orlando City 3-1 here in Orlando. See if Colorado approaches it a little bit differently this time.
Well, Colorado's form in MLS play right now, not spectacular. I think that Orlando City have a good chance in that game. I guess to pull off the upset, if you will.
Adrian Heath, tell you, if you're not going to put your best players out there against us, you're going to get what's coming to you.
Well,
you're going to play a reserve side, you're not going to beat us.
Yeah, no, Orlando City are no secret. Everyone knows that they're coming. They know what they're about. They know where they're going. They know they've watched them. They've seen them throughout the preseason against MLS squads.
Mueller on the free kick got redirected over the top. Fans, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube in 2014. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Orlando City SC YouTube channel today. And
just this guy here, he's got a Cosmos shirt on with an Orlando City scarf. Got to get him an Orlando City shirt. Yeah, as I was saying, Jeff, these MLS teams, they know all about Orlando City. They do not take them lightly. They know that if they don't come and they don't play well, they can and will probably get beat.
Be interesting to see if the Rapids employ a typical starting lineup or something close to.
My bet is they will.
after last year, where they were humbled, to be quite honest.
I think this was going to go directly in the box, Jeff.
Wilson lets it fly. Backs up a bit. And it back into the 18. And cleared out by Alvarez.
They're going to try and get this ball in the box every chance they get. Trying to change the angle here. And there it goes.
Battery releasing direct cannon fire now. Oh, dangerous ball and shot off the left foot of Adam Mena. And it was just off target.
Could not direct that one on frame. Just came across him as he struck it, got underneath it. Sends it.
Who is just 24 years old. He was drafted by Vancouver last year. Never signed. So, boy, this whole game, I think we said it in the first meeting, a very Cascadia feel. Of Vancouver Whitecaps current players and loanees and former draft picks. Bowden will just send it ahead. Now in our 90th minute, Falvey will make the switch. Saved inside by Lopez. Looked to be going into touch. We'll take it into the corner. That will waste some time as we've had 2 minutes of stoppage being announced.
Well, strange one, Jeff. I would probably sense to say that, you know, Charleston will probably again feel like they let one get away, but if you're Adrian Heath, he's probably not going to be that happy with the performance. He'll take the 3 points. Probably not that happy given the first part of the first half and definitely this second half. Although, like I said, you know, Orlando City played a lot of games. There's a lot of games in those legs right now.
90 seconds from full time. Well, we will remind you that our next match coming up Saturday, June 7th. 7:30 start here at the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Orlando will host the Montreal Impact Reserves. We hope to see you there. And if we don't see you here, we hope to see you on YouTube for sure.
That's going to be an interesting contest, Jeff. I'm always interested when the MLS reserve teams come in, because I remember last season Orlando City went to Seattle, and that wasn't quite the Seattle Sounders reserve team that Orlando City played. It seems like when they play Orlando City, some first-team players always seem to come out and make that trip.
Especially on the home leg for the MLS team. This will be the away leg for Montreal. Of course, every USL Pro team will play too. Home and home. Now Aiden Quinn. As Falvey, a little cheeky move to keep possession. He'll send it up the line.
Orlando City happy to take their time getting this throw in off. Not going to be in a rush. He's going to look around. Where can I play this to? Okay, there we go. He'll be there to get it back. Knock it in the corner. And call this one a day and take the 3 points and go home.
There's the whistle from Marcos de Oliveira, and this one goes to the Pride of Lions. A 2-0 shutout over the Charleston Battery.
Well, as we say, Jeff, sometimes it's not a Picasso, but it's a nice piece of work for the Orlando City fans. They'll take the 3 points and be happy with their Lions. I'm not sure the head Lion's going to be all that pleased with this one.
We'll certainly find out in the post-game interviews. Orlando, in the meantime, improves to 9-0-3, now unbeaten in 12 matches to open the season. Now on 30 points at the moment. That puts them 9 points clear of second place Los Dos, the LA Galaxy. 2. Charleston drops to 3, 5, and 4 to remain in 7th. So the last ever visit for the Charleston Battery goes much like the first 9. A defeat at the hands of Orlando City.
Tough place for Charleston to come. Here's the stats. Charleston evened it out a little bit in shots, but with the last part of that first half getting second half, getting stronger for Orlando City. It was 10-6, 9 on frame for Orlando City, forcing Additional Cooper to make 7 saves. Corners only 3-1, but all in all, it'll show you that Orlando City definitely a deserved 2-0 winner, Jeff.
The defending champs earn another 3 points, a 2-0 victory over Charleston. Herzog in the 42nd on this corner kick. Flick-on header made it 1-0. And then Kevin Molino with his league-leading 9th goal late in the game to make it a 2-0 final for Orlando City. From our partner Tom Traxler, for our video production and broadcast manager Austin Hiddle, and our entire and incomparable ESPN crew, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long from Walt Disney World. Orlando City a 2-0 winner. Good night.